see how zoomed in it was, and probably not be able to follow. Hey, Jeff.
So sorry I'm late.
No, all good. It's one of those mornings.
Yeah,
We're all there.
The computer wanted to do updates, and that was the end of the computer. So I've had to relocate, which I've done.
No. So we are recording today. I see that Alyssa has started, so we might get cracking, and then we can share it with anybody that isn't with us today. Fair few sickness going around. And you can probably tell I am a little bit too, but I'm trooping on and I feel all right. But first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land we meet today. I am joining you from Wathaurong country here in Ballarat. And I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and anyone joining us today or listening to this recording. Welcome everybody. So this is our second meeting, and we're on a bit of a roll with some of our trials and some of the things we're working on within the Knowledge Hub. We've got 2-3 trials happening and getting real momentum. We have a guest with us today, Rodrigo. That is going to join us a bit later on, but I think everybody was here last time. We like to do a bit of a similar to a safety moment in meetings, but a diversity moment. So something that you could share that was maybe a hardship or a product that you've come across that's helped you with your diversity, or a time that you have struggled within the community or within work that you'd like to share with anybody, if anybody has one of those.
I can share something.
I mentioned this. Go for it.
I mentioned this to Marianne. I mentioned this to Heidi this morning, and this is probably where I guess, in a sense, I come from within the diversity range. In that, at some point, we all click into that diversity spectrum. You know, something may happen either temporarily or it's permanent. But years ago, I fractured a kneecap running to a meeting actually, and fell up some stairs, but I ended up with my leg in a brace, and I was still determined to work as you did in those days when you were young and ambitious. And I had to attend a meeting in the city, and the building that I went to only had revolving doors for me to get into, and I could not get through those revolving doors with my leg in a brace. So I literally had to ring, and we had to do the meeting then in a cafe near the building because I could not get in. And that was probably the first time something hit me in the face, in the sense of, wow, there really are barriers to people existing or coexisting together in spaces. So and I think I've always sort of carried that with me. So that was my biggest wake up, my first wake up really, to sort of those barriers. So that's it. Nothing terribly dramatic, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Marianne. But it is the I often talk about when people are coming up with like policies and procedures in the D&I space and all these high level things. I always talk about the little day-to-day things that would make a massive difference around access that I care about most. I care about if I can read a menu in the break of a meeting. I care if I can take my guide dog to the toilet in a safe spot. So you have these high level stuff, but yeah, it's the day-to-day stuff, like actually accessing a building or going about the day-to-day that is actually probably the top of the list with access. Is there anyone else wanting to share anything, any moments? Well, we might crack on then with Rodrigo, if you want to take it away and share your screen and explain to us the trial of the proximity is it detector we're calling it?
Proximity sensor. Yeah, I haven't prepared to share my screen. I was going to, if you want, I can, let me see, I can quickly, go through, just stay with me for a moment. So, sorry, I wasn't expecting to present.
Oh no, you don't have to share. You can just talk to it. Maybe, Alyssa, if you wanted to minimize the agenda so we can see Rodrigo talking, and then you can just talk to it if you like.
Yeah, I'll load it. It's gonna be just a second. If you just stay with me.
We got the video and that too, if you wanted.
That video. If you want to, if you have it there handy.
Yep. What I'll do too is rather than me just navigating through, I'll share my screen just so you can see where I put it, then anyone can find it at any time.
Yeah.
And then the only risk I run with this doing it live is it will prove whether I've done it right or not. Let's see. So this is the folder you set up, I think maybe Elisa. And potential trials, proximity sensor.
Yeah, there it is.
And videos.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And if I go play, hopefully this thing works.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Dean, for that. So yeah, that's my mother, and the one carrying that light on his wrist is my brother. So basically, yeah, what he has there on his wrist is just a sensor. So actually, has an ultrasound sensor which detects objects from within the 4.2 meter range. So, and it has a different vibration mode. It also makes a small sound when any object gets closer, and it has different vibration patterns depending on how far an object or whatever is in front of him is. So yeah, basically, I mean, I heard Marianne's story, and yeah, I mean, my brother has been blind since he was born. He's less than 1 year younger than me, so I mean, unconsciously I've been through quite a few of those moments, like just from him or helping him to move around. And yeah, many often I was, when we were into a new building or something, I would say, oh, this stair is a bit too steep or too complicated for him, so like just trying to figure out how we could help him to navigate through. And basically, yeah, so I mean, I was I was thinking just to tell the story I mean, this is being recorded, so how I came about this sensor. Basically, I was reversing my boss's car, so please don't tell him. And basically, I was paying attention to the screen with to the reverse camera and to the mirrors, but at the same time I was listening something on the radio. So I was watching there, but I was paying attention to the radio, and all of a sudden I started thinking, oh, there's a very noisy bus, like prompting that doesn't let me hear clearly. And then I realized, oh, I'm getting too close to a wall behind the car. So maybe that's why I can't hear the radio. So I removed the reverse and I finished listening what was listening there. And then I realized, oh, I was getting too close to that wall. There should be something like other than maybe that someone is listening to the radio or something, or busy something else. There should be something prompting you that you're getting too close to an object. And then maybe like a vibration on the seat or something that, you know, like someone patting you on the back and saying, okay, well, maybe there's something to propose to a car manufacturer. And then I got thinking, oh, but hang on, there's something that some people don't see at all, like some people I know. And then I realized, oh, maybe there's something that we could do about this. So I started doing some research on this. And then, yeah, obviously I found there's like a smart cane that has some vibration over there on the cane. But basically, yeah, I thought, yeah, but blind people usually are very busy with their hands with the cane, and at the same time with the cane you can only spot, like you can only check one spot at a time, like, and it's not like you have like a full picture, obviously, you know. So I was thinking, what can we do to that? And then I was investigating, and I found a paper which they were basically describing this sensor, and they give you really good instructions to assemble it. And so yeah, I started contacting some people, and then basically I contacted some friends that so they are one is studying electronic engineering, so he knows he thought that he could make it with the instructions in this paper. So basically, I funded the development of the first sensor, which my brother was using there, and it seems to be, or at least it seems to do what it is proposing to do. So basically now, I am looking for candidates and volunteers to trial it and test it and and get some feedback about it. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo. I'm so intrigued with this. Being somebody that that is legally blind myself, I've used a white cane for the last 9 years before getting my guide dog last year, and the biggest step from going from cane to guide dog was you're right. It is the cane just tells you what is on the ground in front of you. It does not tell you clothes racks coming out at you or people coming towards you until you literally hit them. So I'm very intrigued about it, and you'll definitely be hearing from me. But I saw it went out into the so is it in the IWN newsletter this week that we've put it out there to water boards to trial? Yep.
Yeah, so it went out in yesterday's newsletter, and then we're monitoring the inquiries email to see if there's any interest coming back from the industry.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much. It was interesting. People within my own water board at Central Highlands Water forwarded me the IWN newsletter and said, "Can we be a part of the diversity and inclusion trials? Like, what's this? Have you heard about this?" And I'm like, "Wow, yes, I have." But no, it's definitely an interesting trial. I don't know if do we have statistics around diversity and inclusion Victorian Water Board wide? Does anyone know if we have I know
that they have to report from a gender equity perspective, Heidi. I don't know about the governance around reporting holistically, and I would imagine it would be dependent. So I don't know whether every water corp has their own D&I group, for example. Yeah. But I know that definitely there is reporting, but where that extends to, like you would be doing individual reporting against the RAP, you'd be doing gender reporting, but I don't know holistically whether there is some sort of go-to where they sort of talk more broadly about all things D&I, but we could certainly reach out to our network and find out.
Absolutely. So I joined that. There is one at the moment. So the diversity and inclusion. So I think there's about 15 of it, of the leaders within the D&I space within water industries. They meet monthly.
Okay.
Is that a Vic Water thing, Heidi?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Because I was just wondering whether Vic Water had any stats, and we can reach back into Vic Water and just ask them that question if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we do also have to be mindful of people's privacy and disclosure and stuff like that. I saw that the People Matters results came in this week too, so maybe there's something around there as well that we can look at some statistics. But that was brilliant. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, and I hope you do get some whether it's we reach into Water Able as well and their network as well about promoting a cross promotion within the two of us too.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks a lot for the support to spread the word. So I'm receiving a unit here next week. So my mother just sent me, because we assembled another 3 units, and one is coming here. So hopefully it's coming to me next week. So I don't know whether you want me to send it to you, Heidi, or I don't know what's the where you want it.
Whereabouts are you based, Rodrigo? What are you?
So I'm close to Shepparton. I am in Tatura.
Okay.
I'm happy to post it and mail it to your office or whatever.
Yeah, or because there'll be instructions, and we can talk about that offline anyway. How the logistics of and how we measure the trial as well. So whether there's feedback forms and because we want to be capturing the data of or whether it's an interview or so whoever's trialing it, we get a real robust kind of feedback about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you.
I'll be first guinea pig. Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Alyssa, sorry, do you have the agenda? What was the next? What are we on to next?
No, the next one was talking a little bit about the toolkit that's proposed, but we put down there for Marianne to also do a little bit of an overview on some of the stuff that we can bypass our IT with to Marianne, the app stuff.
Well, heaven forbid my IT department hears me saying bypass IT. I'll be in big trouble.
I forgot we were recording. I'll erase that out.
Yeah.
We have to edit a couple of things. Marianne's IT and Rodrigo's driving of the boss's car.
Yeah. Just one of the things that I chatted with Elisa and Heidi about the other day was that we have talked about apps, and certainly Heidi has mentioned some apps that are great, and I've actually downloaded a few of them. I'm just conscious that there are some IT departments that are very risk averse in regards to us downloading things, particularly onto company equipment. So I thought, well, if we're going to have apps, and I'm hoping we've got an IT expert here. Jeff, I'm looking at you. I think you're in the IT space. So
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so if we get a list of apps that we are talking about, that with that we then sort of answer the questions that the IT departments may have to kind of, so it's not a barrier then to people getting these applications. So I can certainly look at the apps and the different things and keep a list, cost if there's any cost and those sorts of things and where they can get it from. But from an IT perspective, what would an IT manager be looking at, or what barrier would there be that we can go, well, that's not going to be an issue. So, and that's kind of an idea I was throwing out that we could have again in our database. So, yeah. So I thought maybe I could work with somebody.
I can review the applications to look for any risks.
Oh, and fabulous.
They will install them. But you're right. There are things that we look for.
Yeah. Perfect. Yep. Because I have that, not a battle every time, but yeah, it's certainly like. No,
I get it.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
I'm like, no, I want it now. What do you mean? I don't care that it sits in the cloud. Why? Now. So, but I just thought, so that was an idea. So maybe we can sort of chat and I'll get the list together, and as we get information and ideas from people. So yeah, so that was kind of my idea.
Absolutely. So some of the apps that we're talking about that help with accessibility,
some
are actually through the government. So things like so there's some Indigenous apps that are brilliant. So it'll I can't think of what it is right now, but I can share it later. So you can type in your location and you can get access to the closest heritage sites, Indigenous walks, awesome. Or different things like that. There's applications. I found a brilliant one the other day that'll show you the closest accessible toilet when you type in your location, or your guide dog toileting station. So that's another good one. And I think, Marianne, the one that you were probably talking about the other day. So I use my top two apps are called TapTapSee and Seeing AI. So TapTapSee literally is a camera app that you can take a picture or hover over any photo, and it explains to you what it is, whether it's a red cup, whether it's it'll explain any item, it interprets what it is. Mm-hmm. And then the Seeing AI one is a text converter. So you can hold it over any text and it converts it to sound. So I can see them being used not just for people that have vision. So yeah, you can hold it on. So if you get a form in the mail and it's tiny writing, you could literally just filter it through your camera and it will read it out and you can pick a lot of the accents as well. It doesn't have to be a robot voice or anything like that. And all of those applications are free. So completely free. So we want to eliminate any barriers that we have.
Yes.
And if IT is one of those, and also, Marianne, we talked about possibly having a few kind of pre-written paragraphs for people's staff newsletter. We have a weekly staff newsletter here at Central Highlands Water. Every Thursday it goes out. We can put different updates or events that are upcoming. So we thought it would also be really good to work on a few kind of generic kind of statements or paragraphs about some of our trials that it'd be easy for people to copy and paste into their communications any way they can.
Yeah, most definitely.
So that will be great to work on. So we can work on that over the next month and get it out to people. Quite often, my most common email that comes through about this D&I program is either tell me more about the trials, or I want to share this with our people, can you write some words for me?
Yes.
So yes, having that will be great. So that probably brings me to the next item. So is the next trial is the we've stopped calling it treasure box. What we're calling it the accessibility toolkit.
Yeah,
the toolkit, the library, the thing that we've had lots of probably inquiries. I think nearly every every water corp has put their hand up nearly, I think, when I've talked to everybody. And when I was a guest at that D&I Vic Water group last month, and I reckon all 15 hands went up saying, me, we want one, we want one.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
So essentially this will be a toolkit or a treasure box of actual physical items, accessible items that people can get their hands on and trial live. So it's not a document telling people what to get, it's an actual object that people can pick up, put headphones on, plug a mouse in, sorry, I can't get my words out, or pick up actual items that they can loan out from this toolkit within their business, and then we'll collect some feedback, what worked, what didn't work, and then they'll be able to essentially trial these items, and if they do like them, to purchase them within their different water corps. So I've started compiling a bit of a list together. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit.
On the screen. Do you want me to zoom in on that?
No, I can zoom on my end. So it is now 3 times the size. So if I just go through some of these items, and absolutely feel free to add, if you've come across anything at all, sing out, send me a link, send the inquiries, Alyssa, anything at all, because quite often these items are low cost but high impact. So we've got a list of kind of things at the start that you'd see in the orange that will definitely be in the toolkit, and then a bit later on I've got 3 or 4 items that we'd love to get people within this working group to kind of research and come back to us about different things that they've found, and it'd be good to research. So if you see, so up the top, we've got a portable hearing loop system. So we've recently got these in at work, and they're fantastic. So not only is a hearing loop system great for people with hearing loss or hearing issues, it's a system that you wear around your neck, put headphones on or headphones off, and it can connect straight to people's hearing aids, and it isolates and amplifies sound. So if you put the hearing loop around, it's just a small discreet necklace, and you walk into a meeting, a conference, anything like that, it'll amplify the sound closest to you. So if you're talking one-on-one with somebody, it'll filter out background noises and amplify the sound closest to you. That being said, it also has a little sensor that you can put it next to a certain person within a room, and it doesn't have to be the closest person to you. So if you've got a guest speaker or a conference and you put this little sensor right up near the podium and you're sitting up the back and there's 200 people in front of you, it is going to focus on that sound up the front and just amplify it through this system straight into your ear. These are amazing for customer service, for different, we've taken ours to job fairs and community events. I actually use ours quite a bit. It sounds a bit ironic, but my hearing's too good. So I get quite overwhelmed with sound, because I can literally hear 6 conversations at once. If somebody next to me is on the phone, I can quite often hear the person on the other end of the phone quite clearly. So I get quite overwhelmed with sound. So I use this hearing loop system to isolate the sound closest to me, and it filters out anything else. And it is discreet and really accessible. They comes with a little, so 2 different sensors, so 2 people can listen at one time, and also some signage that you can put on your front desk at reception that says, we have a hearing loop system available, please let us know. And it's really simple. I mastered it in about 5-10 minutes. So that's a great first thing to add into this accessible toolkit. I can't see any of your faces. Are people nodding? Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Is it a shut up, Heidi? No.
No, I'm nodding, Heidi. I reckon my wife would want me to get one of these for home.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, I know. But and it's quite like when we talk about budget, I know budgets is listed a bit further down the agenda, but I've listed the approximate price there. But we've just really got to engage, I think, who wants to be part. So if we get 10 water corps wanting to trial this, we might have to do some sort of system that a toolkit goes to a business for a 2-month stint and then it moves on to a next one, or we have 3 toolkits going at one time and then they get rotated. So once we get interest back, or whether we start with 1 and then as we go on, it could we could go to 2 to 3 toolkits. So we'll just gauge what people up to or what they're interested in. So the next one is aftershock headphones. So I don't have mine with me right now, but they are a headphone that was designed out of an unfortunate incident. They were actually featured on Shark Tank, you know, the TV show, the innovative, the Dragon's Den, or the Shark Tank TV show, that a woman actually invented these after she was assaulted while running, while wearing headphones, because she couldn't hear the outside world while she had her headphones on. So she invented these headphones that actually sit around your head, but they sit on the bone just in front of your ear, leaving your ear completely free. So they're quite interesting when you put these headphones on. It feels like the sound is coming from inside your head, the voices in your head. Wow. But you can clearly still hear the outside world through your free ear. So I absolutely love these because these allow me to listen to music while I'm walking along, still hear traffic, still hear. I don't want to be deaf and blind when I'm walking along, and for my safety. And also for work, if my back is to people and I've got headphones on, I can't hear people coming up behind me. I obviously can't see an alarm going off or a fire alarm, so I'm relying on my sound. So it's actually, they're brilliant headphones. They're somewhat cheaper than traditional headphones sometimes. And our outdoor staff and our metering staff are looking at doing these, so they can be out in the field listening to a lunch and learn or a meeting, but still having their ears free to assess hazards. So really, these headphones, I reckon everybody's going to get a pair. As soon as they put them on, it's the Christmas list. Definitely. Sorry, next on the list. This is another one of my gadgets that I talk about, but a pen friend. I'm not sure if anybody's heard about it before, but I don't know if you can see. So this is a pen friend. So super discreet, and the best way to describe this is a talking Post-it. So it comes with 400 dots. I'm not sure if you can see these little dots, these tactile dots. Yep. That are freezer proof, washing machine safe, waterproof. You can have them in cold, hot, boiling water. So each of these dots align with this pen. So if I hold the pen up on each of these dots and hold down the button, I have 30 seconds of recorded time on these. So I can hold the pen up to a dot, hold it down, and say, these are baked beans and they expire on the 12th of January. And then I stick this dot on my baked beans. I could have files. I have every single file at work has one of these tiny little dots on them that I can simply hold my pen up to, and it'll read out whatever I've recorded onto them. So all of my clothes are labelled like this. So I'll have a little orange dot on the tags of every single item of clothing, and I'll just go along with my little pen and it'll say red dress size 10 that you spent too much money on. It's just simply whatever I want to record for 30 seconds. So all my filing system at work, so I just hold this up and it'll say June report for awards program, and then next. So think of it like a voice Post-it note. You could buy multiple pen friends and they work on all the dots. So if you had all these dots around the building, but you had 5 pen friends, they're all going to work to the same system. So it's funny, my team will say, where's your pen friend? I need to read what's on here, and they can record over it. Yeah, so it's, I hope I'm making sense, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'm just imagining my filing system behind me, Heidi, is just going to be replaced with dots.
You just hold it down. Oh, it's run out of batteries, but it's that simple, and it's pretty discreet too. So I have it on all my kids' kind of shoes, and it says literally left foot, right foot. Everything in my freezer I don't label anymore. It's got one of these on it that I can say mincemeat from this. And work-wise, I use it quite a bit with different codes and passwords. So if I have one of these dots next to a light switch and hold it up, and it'll say lights for above Jeff's desk. So it's almost like a bit of a cheat, like a little because you can't really leave a Post-it on a light switch in real life, can you?
Or a password.
Or a password, exactly. And so it's only accessed with this, and you can overwrite these dots. And yeah, and so they all come, I've got probably 700 spares right now. So so that'll be really good to put in the toolkit as well. I think so a lot of these things you might think that they have a blind angle because I use them, but I've known people that have so processing disorders or just a preference for talk over text.
Very much so.
Whether whether it's dyslexia, whether it's time, like just saving time by not writing, don't have a pen, you've got this. So so I really want to be really conscious about the accessible toolkit isn't just a focus on disability either. I think when people think accessibility, the first thing that comes to mind is physical disability. But we definitely want to keep put the lens, if you will, around gender, around age, Indigenous, LGBTQI+. So anything that you could think of that helps in any way just enhance people's jobs or work life or personal life that we could add to this, absolutely share.
I was wondering with the pen, Heidi, so just say you're a new employee and you're going to a pump station and you might be getting certain readings or something like that, rather than going through a documented procedure, you could just go and hit the button and it says to get the hour reading or whatever, grab it from here. So it might be,
that's a great idea.
Too.
Absolutely. And so the dots come in all different colors. Like I've got the orange pack here, I've got the green, I've got everything. So you could do multiple dots in a line with different dates, different data, different so I've used it for passwords before. So when I've logged into training, I've kept one of the dots on the outside of the folder and it said, remember your password and login is this one. So simple things like that as well. And data entry or metering or numbers. I'm thinking like land development and mapping. It can definitely be used. I'll be interested to see just how many people for different reasons. And as you can see, I think it's $300 top. So it's a small price for a big, I think potentially could be a big
what
win.
I'm thinking, Heidi, is I'll get one of those pens because if I ever need a hack into your computer or get into the key safe, I know how to do it now.
What do you know what I've set up ones before that are like led onto another one, so I've put a dot on and I've read it and it said check the dot where the place that you hide things, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'll go check. Like you could set up traps because it's literally your voice. So if you wanted to, like, not that anyone would swear or like anything like that, you could put your own lingo or really code it that only you can understand it as well. Or you could leave. I use it for reminders quite often, so I've got 2 or 3 here now that's like, remember to do this by this date. Like it's a bit of a prompter, like literally a post-it note.
Do you do any crank, Heidi? So you know how you said others, if they've got the pen, they could hit on the folder and you go, don't touch this, Dean. Leave the folder where it is.
Do you know what my kids my kids have done that before. I've put it, I'm like, what is this dot for? And I'm like, I don't remember doing this one, and I'll do it and it'll be my kids telling me a joke.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's cute. They're like, joke of the day, Mum. It doesn't make sense, but I'm like, oh, it's cute that, and it's really endearing that, I don't know, the next generation are growing up with this kind of tech around them as well. Like our future have it. I think that they'll be inventing more and more. So next on the list, portable zooming CCTV. So you might have seen the recording of the presentation at the IWN conference. I showed this item off during my speech, but I've had quite a bit of interest in this one as well. So sorry, I'll just zoom out. So this little thing is what I bring with me everywhere. So every restaurant I go to, every meeting, super, super discreet, looks like an iPhone, but it is a portable zooming. I'll just make sure I don't have my address on something. Is it coming up?
Yeah.
So I can zoom up to 30 times and I can invert color. So with this, so see at the moment how it's red on black? I can do black to white. So this is really handy. So we have a couple of people using this within our business with colour blindness, with dyslexia, with processing disorders, because quite often in publications, writing is over the top of images, and it's really hard when people change font, when publications change fonts and colours mid-paragraph. So text is often quite, so they'll start in one, so just black on white font, but then the writing will go over the top of an image. It's really hard to process, and my zooming computer doesn't pick up on it. So I can simply zoom in and out, make it bigger, smaller. I can screenshot. I can do this. This can be live, discrete in meetings, or I can record on it as well. It just simply inverts to multiple different red on black, black on white. Really cool little bit of tech, and discreet as well. So people often don't know that I can't see because I'm using this. Within our business, this quite often, our land development team will come over and say, have you got that little thing that you use? Because they've got these giant kind of maps of underground pipes with faded lettering, or I've also used this. We had a tool that had a serial number on it that was quite faded, and I was able to pop this lens over it and invert black to white, and it was clear as day, the white code on the item. So as you're seeing, most of these items have lots of different uses, and I guess until it gets in people's hands, we won't know what these items can be used for. It's not just for its intended use, I guess. It's pretty limitless what people will be able to use this for.
Maybe that becomes part of the toolkit, is that we ask them to put in some feedback to say, this is where we've trialed it as well. So we can build a suite of options for people to use the different tech as well. Heidi, yeah? Absolutely.
Great idea. And maybe, the different teams that have used it, and the different reasons as well. Because you could quite easily pick this up and go, oh, yeah, zoom in a couple of times because I'm finding it hard to see sometimes. But no way. It could, I could imagine this being out in the field, a hard to reach place, or a code down on the ground on a metering box. You could simply zoom it in, not bending over. So OH&S wise, so you could be holding it at chest level rather than getting down and moving as well. So I'm interested in the safety aspect as well, and OH&S side of things, of how some of this tech can help in that aspect as well.
A Microsoft form for this to collect feedback. Then we could collate. So if it was Central Highlands as one water corporation, just say Golden Valley Water next, and we could send them that link to the Microsoft form, and then that would collate in the background all the feedback for the trial. So I think it would just be a matter of setting up the fields, but we can do that easily internally.
Yep. And then people can read back on what other people used it for too, and probably, I love that.
So I guess the question in this one is, if we set up that first set, will we just set up one to start with, Dean? Is that something we can fund?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we fund it, so just as a backstory for everyone, how it normally works in IWN land is when we're testing and trialling any technology, we would fund the trial. And the reason we do that is so that there's no procurement issues or finance issues within the water corporation. So we'd get one and just get it started.
Absolutely. Things I like to hear. Spend money, go for it. I can do that. So some of the other things that are listed at the bottom of this.
I think you were trying to jump in, were you?
Sorry, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff had a question.
I was. First of all, Eliza, there was a coffee cup appearing about 20 minutes ago behind you. So, you got it. All right.
Why I turned my camera off. I've hurt my back, Jeff, and I didn't really want you to see me hobbling over to pick up my coffee cup. So yes, I did. Yeah, even when he's sick, he still brings me my hot chocolate. I'm very lucky.
Well, we think it's hot chocolate anyway, so we'll take your word for it.
It could have some Valium,
Irish coffee or something.
Yeah.
A brandy probably for your back, why not? Or bourbon for me. Sorry, so that device you were saying, that's not a phone, is it? Because your phones can get apps for your phones that'll do similar things. And I was curious if you'd actually looked at that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Only because if it's an app on a phone, everyone's got a phone already, and they'll come with torches and things as well. So I was just that was my question. Is there an app for that? Perhaps it's more accessible, certainly more affordable in the sense that we already pay for company phones.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few different functions that some of these things will do. So currently the best I can zoom in on my phone is 3 times, and I quite often do a screenshot and then zoom in. And there are some applications that can definitely invert colors that are really good. I guess it's an education piece around the different things that are available. Yeah, absolutely good point as well.
Hi everyone. Just on that, is it a good opportunity to do like a test, a comparison as part of a trial? We can purchase the apps and then trial this in the toolbox and see what pros and cons, I suppose.
Well, the other thing I was looking at with the phone and the camera system is actually to grab barcodes and meter numbers and things like that. So especially for water, that's going to collect information as well. So it wouldn't just look at it, magnify it. It can actually then use that as a lookup
to interpret.
Teams, SharePoint. They're all there. It's all native to them now. So it just lets you combine a lot of these things into one.
Or I guess one of the other sides too. I don't have mobile data quite often on my phone. I don't use my phone quite a lot, so this doesn't need internet at all. Yeah. Wait, just 2.
You got your hand up, Pete?
Yeah, I was just going to ask a quick question for Heidi, but she's just ran off on me. She must have known.
It's coming.
It's getting
coming. It could be hard.
Got to turn the camera off.
I'm so sorry. I was going to cough everywhere like it was one of those really ugly, like, coughs. Are you still recording? Can we edit that bit out too? Is that the thing?
Yeah, we got a lot of editing to do with this one.
Yeah.
Where's my brandy? I want some.
It's only a working group meeting, Heidi. It's all fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete, you had a question.
Yeah, just on that, the zooming CCTV, can it read barcodes and QR codes? Just for interest's sake? No.
So it is a very basic, I guess, if you will, just a video camera and a camera. Yep. So same as probably like a digital camera, but I guess the pros is, so I work on 7 times zoom on this, which, my phone only goes to 3 or 4. And quite often when I've got different applications on my phone, they tend to go slow with the more thick. So I've got a dictation program, I've got a navigational program. So it tends to go really slow once you can combine a lot of the programs running at once. So this, I just kind of grab, go, don't have to worry about Wi-Fi access, internet. And I guess it's really discreet. Quite often I've used this and I've taken a quick photo of a menu, and then I've been able to just use it kind of looking like a phone and just scroll the menu and zoom in and out like that. So I don't know, some of the applications are pretty basic until you upgrade or pay extra anyway.
Thank you.
All right, so the next bit of the toolkit was some stuff that I really wanted your input on. Some of the items, sorry, just make bigger. So some of the items listed a bit further on, we would love to know if you wanted to pop your hand up or put your name next to it, a bit of research on these. So is that teal, that colour? Kind of, to my eyes, teal, where it says
is that too hard for you to see, Heidi?
No, it's fine. Okay. I just get my colours mixed up.
That's all good.
So it's kind of like a bluey colour. So so for our working group to research. So so some of these items we've had interest. A couple of people have reached out saying that they would really love the option of. So I use a dictation program called Dragon. So I can talk anything to, and it converts to text. It spell checks grammar and sentence structures. So I can be talking like I am right now, and it will form my paragraphs, my breaks, my page breaks. But the problem with this is it's one license. So it's a bit hard to pop one of these in the toolkit when it's literally probably just one person or one computer, unless there's a central spot within a business that they can install the program on and people use it, but it's not very accessible. So I thought it'd be great if anybody wanted to pop their hand up and pop their name next to any of these things, to spend the next 2 or 3 weeks, come up with some solutions, or there might be stuff out there that we've never heard of. So it'll be really good to get, yes, some sort of dictation program or talks to text, whether it's an application, something you can put on your phone, a voice. There's quite a lot of programs out there that kind of doctors and medical staff use. So similar to how they write their notes and they send it off. Remember the old school, they like kind of talk into a phone and then a few weeks later they get it back. Somebody's dictated it for them. I'm sure there's better tech out there now.
Jeff's got his hand up,
yeah.
Heidi.
Sorry, Jeff, jump in. Sorry, I can't see the light.
No, well, 2 things. I was putting my hand up. Yeah, I'll do that. One of my first jobs in computing, we were doing that in the meatworks. They can't touch anything, or they have to wash their hands again. So we actually put a speech recognition system in. That was in 1980. So the tech's there for sure, and in health, it's much more accessible now. And Dragon's a brilliant system, but Microsoft's speech to text engine is probably as good as you get now, and that's pretty much built into most of their products. So yeah, that would be good for me to do. But the other thing I was going to say is, who's controlling this document? If you select review,
where's that up here?
It's on the ribbon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see that on the left, check accessibility. If you push that, that will tell you what's, just push that. And you get a little list of what's, it found no, there you go, it found no.
Anyway. It's funny, Jeff, because we brought this in at Melbourne Water, and, you know, the number of people that I had pushing back around checking accessibility on documents, and I actually mandated it before Microsoft brought it in as just a general option. I mandated it in our controlled document process, and oh my God, the number of people I had complaining, why do we have to check accessibility? I don't want to put alternate text behind pictures, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, no, and I only just discovered that, so no, that will be our standard here too.
Awesome, yeah.
It change is pretty good.
I noticed that's across pretty much the whole Microsoft suite now.
It is, and that was the other good feature. I was trying to find a way to get it on automatically, but that'll come, and it's probably actually already there with the policy.
Well,
so they'll just do it like spell check.
It's there for our when you're doing it prompts you even in emails. I noticed now, which is really cool. Yeah,
and you noticed we were using colours in the signatures that were not very good, and a couple of the forms which I've sort of sent on and altered.
Yeah,
already.
Awesome.
So that's a really good thing, and that'll help with the reading. So when you get those pictures over the text, well, that won't be an issue. You can just say, you can have that read the document to you. In fact, I was just quickly looking around to see how to do that. Read aloud. You can see it's there. Next to check accessibility. You can say
even if we put in the toolkit even if we do a bit of a cheat sheet around the inbuilt. I know I think I shared with the group last time how to just simply the keyboard shortcut of zooming in and out. Really simple, but as soon as people know about it, so maybe we include that within the toolkit as well as just a couple of pages around, did you know this is already inbuilt in your computer? It's free, and if you need it, here it is. Like really simple step-by-step instructions about some of this stuff. I see someone's got their hand.
Caitlin?
Yeah, hi. So there is an app called Otter as well, which you can get for free, that does the talk to text as well. Accuracy can be, up in the air a little bit, but it is a good alternative as well, just for something quick as well. And you can also, I believe, download the transcripts as well.
So what's that called, Caitlin? Otter?
Otter.
it'll be good to share in our knowledge hub as well. A lot of the stuff we talk about is, if we, Alyssa can talk to us. I know we've only got 5 more minutes, but Alyssa can talk to, like, all of these suggestions we can write and share in the knowledge hub that anybody can access at any time to look over as well.
I've just got
all of the stuff that you've sent through, Jeff, I've already put in.
All right, cool.
As well. So it was interesting with the link, this link here, the Empowering Every Person and Reimagining Accessibility.
Yeah.
You had to sign up to get access to that. So I was only I was only able to access which is what I've linked here, access the ad about it. But
okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And I mean, there could be people out there that do have access to it. But it's just, I think, I can't remember what platform it was on, whether it was, it was like one of the paid platforms, whether it's a Foxtel or
Vimeo or, okay.
Yeah, Vimeo, it could have been Vimeo. It could have been Vimeo. So some of that stuff is accessible to everyone. Some of it's not, and you have to pay a subscription. But I just didn't have the option. But I've seen this ad come up a couple of times. And I think it would be great watching anyway. So so all of the links that you sent in, I've already put in here.
Yep. And anyone can add those at any time. It'd be great if we get some comms out to you, like we talked about before, about sharing them out in your newsletter or your updates, that we are collating some of this stuff in the Knowledge Hub, that we are, for people to read themselves and to contribute to. If they send it through to us, we can pop anything in there, any apps, any kind of software or anything kind of cool that's out there that helps people in their day-to-day. Would love to share it. Yep. Sorry, 2 more minutes. So just on the agenda, just that document before. So the other two things that we wanted people to help out was maybe an accessible mouse or keyboard. I use a fairly standard mouse and keyboard, but I was thinking if anybody had come across any items for an accessible mouse or a keyboard. And the other one was, so sensory items. We've recently been doing a little bit of renos at work to do a quiet and reflection space, so a space that can be used for sensory overload if anybody needs some just a quiet time or feeling a bit overwhelmed at work. And I thought it'd be really cool to get some of that tech into that room for calming, for distraction, for think of fidget spinners or music or items that can be
Indigenous colouring books, Heidi.
Yeah, great one. I like that. But just something that people will be able to place into that or to create a quiet space if they don't already have it within their organisations would be great. The last so if anyone wanted to put their hands up next to any of those, just contact either me or Alyssa in the inquiries. That would be great. One more thing, sorry, 1 more minute left. Alyssa, you were going to speak about the accessible, the image.
Yeah. So this is what we currently have. Thanks, Heidi, and I won't take too long. I just want your feedback. So currently what we had was the first cut of a diversity and inclusion plan back in 2021, which sort of, I suppose, was that first attempt at talking about diversity and inclusion in the IWN space. I went back to Carmel, who did this original image, and I think that there was just some stuff that we hadn't quite hit the nail on the head with regards to, being inclusive of all genders. And I think that, we didn't hit the Indigenous mark on this one as well, and we wanted to sort of go down that path. Carmel sent back a couple of options. I'm just going to bring this one across. So this was the first one that she sent across to me. So basically using the same hexagonal, but being a little bit more, I suppose, defined in what was going to be available. But hang on, just bear with me. I've just got to find the other one is here. No, that's not it. Hang on, I've lost it. Why have I lost it? Just bear with me. I'm just going to have to go back to her email. So I went back to her and just asked her to change a couple of things, but we had a quick chat about it this morning, and this was the second option that she put forward. So I've asked her to take the gender symbols off the all genders, because at this point in time there are around 72 different gender definitions. So, you know, classifying it into 2 genders doesn't really cut it. Now, one of the pieces of feedback was that, and I wasn't sure in wording, Heidi, we've got Indigenous culture there. Is there a better wording for our First Nations, Indigenous? What is the right wording that we should use that sort of, I know we've got a box in or a hexagon that sort of talks about all cultures, but I think we specifically need to call out the Indigenous.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
First Nations people, like, is that, maybe we can get some feedback. We can take that away and think about it. But yeah, I would, First Nations people. Yeah.
Okay, so that I'll have a look at that. And the other thing is, and I think that, look, yes, we are talking about people of colour, but the feedback that we had this morning is we shouldn't also highlight, what we should be doing is highlighting the sameness as opposed to the difference in this image. So what the feedback was, both with the LGBTIQ plus and the Indigenous one, is that we keep the people blue so everyone looks the same, and we run a flag across both of those images. So instead of having a colourful LGBTIQ plus person, we have a blue person with an LGBTI flag. And I think in that instance, we can use that, the most recent flag that also incorporates transgender, the brown and the black stripe as well that's in there. So it sort of covers that whole spectrum for LGBTIQ plus. So I can send her a copy of the flag that I want added. And the same deal with Indigenous. So keep the people shadow blue and just have the specific Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flag across. So and then something that Dean mentioned this morning, which I think is a great idea, this is an opportunity as a group. So at the moment we've got, you know, diversity and inclusion plan, and the tagline sitting under that is our future. Is there a line that we want to put in here that represents our support and our processes at IWN? So, you know, just a, you know, 4 or 5 words that we put under there to say, you know, IWN is all inclusive or whatever. There's an opportunity for us to tweak this wording here as well. So apart from that, I'll go back to her with regards to making the people look the same. But I was just going to share this with the group, and if you can provide feedback before I send it back to Carmel, that'd be great.
Yep. Thank you, Alyssa. It's interesting. I've been updating our D&I plan with the help from my team, and we've actually taken out kind of the pillars of the group. So whether it's LGBTQI plus, gender, disability, and we've actually restructured it a bit into 3 sections, because there's cross-sectionality with a few of these things. You're not just one or another. You could be 3 of these things. Everybody's got their different journeys. So we've actually split it into inclusion, diversity, and access, and then popped some of our goals and plans under each of those things. And it's just, it seems to flow a bit better rather than just making sure you've got all the boxes to tick or everything's covered in a way. So that's something to think about as well. But no, it's absolutely looking great, and I'm loving the Knowledge Hub page as well. So sorry, I'm conscious we've gone. I'm a bad chair. I'm new to this, but and I talk too much. But is there anything else anybody wanted to talk about before? We've got another meeting in 3 weeks, but it'd be great to hear from anyone if anyone had anything, any feedback, any comments.
No, I just think great energy from the group, and looking forward to getting some more rubber on the road with this program.
Yeah.
So, and it's really good to see everyone and your enthusiasm as well. It's fantastic.
Thank you, Dean. It'd be good. We can do some purchasing. I'm spending that money, Dean. So this week we can start to purchase some of those things high up on the list. But it'd be really great to get anyone's feedback, or if anyone wanted to pop their names next to the other things. I'm just conscious that to put all lens over it. So the LGBTQI+, Indigenous lens. It'd be great to see if there's any technology out there that helps everybody in the community and different things. So and maybe that can be in that sensory space as well, whether we go for that angle as well. But
I'm happy to put my hand up for the sensory.